Hello. I welcome you all again to this live session by Great Learning. And before we start off, just give me a quick confirmation if you can hear me and if you can see me properly. So just put it up in the chat and I will know if everything is proper. In the meanwhile, I'd introduce you to this free platform called as Great Learning Academy. And this is what you exactly see over here. So Great Learning Academy is a free initiative by Great Learning, and as you see over here, we've got all of these different courses with respect to different domains. So if you want to learn about data science, we've got multiple courses on data science. Similarly, you have ML, AI, cloud computing, marketing, big data, and a lot more. Now, the specialty of these courses is all of these have been designed by industry experts and taught by industry experts. And also, whenever you complete these courses, you'll get a course completion certificate. And you can go ahead and add that certificate onto your resume or onto your LinkedIn page, and that will be a huge value add to you guys. Now, also, as you see over here, let me just drag this down properly. We've got all of these different tracks over here. So let's say if you want to become a data scientist, then we've got the data science track. Similarly, if you want to become an AI engineer, we've got this AI track. So you'll have a proper learning experience. You'll have a proper journey so that you know what to learn and how to map your learning journey. So we have carefully planned how to curate these courses and understanding whatever your required domain is. We have properly put up these courses. So you can just go ahead and check out GLA and you'll find the link for the same in the chat. Also, let's say if you do not have your laptop or desktop with you during the pandemic, you do not have to worry at all because we also have the Great Learning app. So you can just go ahead and download the Great Learning app on your phone and you can learn all of these courses directly from your phone. So someone will put up the link of Great Learning app in the chat right now. So I see there are a couple of yeses from Chiranjeev and Kaushalendra. Great. So I see that there's a watching of 30 and I see only a couple of yeses. If all of you could let me know if everything is proper, that would be great. And whoever is watching this session, if all of you could quickly hit the like button, and also if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I'd request you folks to also hit the subscribe button. That would be very helpful. So now we have done the basic introduction. Now today's topic is Kaggle competition for beginners. So let me just go ahead and open up Kaggle for you. And Kaggle is basically a one-stop solution for all of your data science needs. And this is the homepage of Kaggle, which I've opened up. So as you see, kaggle.com, and you see that I have already signed up over here. So if you want to sign up, if you haven't yet signed up, so let me just open this in a new incognito page and let me just write down Kaggle over here. Let me select this. So this is how your Kaggle homepage looks like if you haven't yet signed up. And the first task would be to sign in or register. So just go ahead and register with your email ID, and then you can go ahead and participate in whatever competitions are over here. So just understand the structure of Kaggle properly. So starting off, I've got the homepage where obviously you'll see, let's say if you have there would be a lot of users on Kaggle. You can also go ahead and follow these users on Kaggle. So let's say if you have followed someone, you'll see all of their updates over here. And not just users, but then again, let's say if you follow a particular competition or if you follow certain data sets, even if there's an update with respect to that, that is also something which you will find over here in the homepage. Then this is what we are currently interested in, or this is what we are interested in for today's particular session. So if you want to participate in any competition, so you just have to go over here and you see that there are a lot of competitions over here. You see you've got active competitions, you've got completed competitions, you've got in-class competitions and so on. Now let's say if you want to participate in any of these, you can just go over here and directly download the data set, and you can just click on join competition over here and then submit whatever result you have. And the best part is, as you see, all of these are actually paid competitions. So if you are, let's say, in the top three teams who provide the best accuracy for whatever this competition is, you stand a chance to win $90,000, which is a huge, huge amount, isn't it? Similarly, over here, let's say if you participate in this competition and you win it, you get $60,000, right? So $90,000, just imagine $90,000 is a lot of amount, right? That's a huge, huge amount. So if you have the expertise, then you can easily go ahead and participate in this and win these competitions. But then again, these competitions which you see are really tough ones, and these are actually participated by industry experts in the field of data science or in the field of ML who already have, let's say, around 3 to 4 years of experience easily. Now, what if you are a beginner and want to participate in something? Well, you don't have to worry, because you also have a lot of beginner friendly competitions where it's, as you see, it's only for knowledge. You don't really win anything, but then again, you improve your expertise with respect to certain data science and ML techniques. And the best competition to start off with would be this one, Titanic Machine Learning from Disaster. Now, before we actually go ahead to this one, let's explore more of Kaggle. So we've also got this data pane over here. Now, Kaggle, as I've told you, is a one-stop repository for data science. So let's say if you would want to find a data set with something that you're interested in. Let's say I'm a big fan of Pokemon and I'd want to do something with Pokemon. So here, as you see, I just type in Pokemon and you have all of these different data sets with respect to Pokemon. So you can go ahead and download any of these data sets and start working with it. Similarly, let's say if you watch this TV series called as Game of Thrones, just write down Game of Thrones and you will definitely have something related to Game of Thrones as well. And as you see, there are 44 data sets currently, which has some relevant data with respect to Game of Thrones, right? So you can just go over here to this data page and search what are you looking for. So whatever it is, it could be related to finance, it could be related to TV series, it could be related to education. Just type in and see if the data set exists. And most probably the data set will definitely exist over here, because this is the best repository and the best, the largest repository for data sets that you'll find anywhere with respect to data science. So this is where you'll find all of the data sets. And then we've got this code page as well, where you have, let's say we have a lot of users on Kaggle and all of those users would be implementing something. And let's say if you want to just look what the other folks are doing along with the code, this is what you have. So here there would be some data set related to houses, and this person over here is trying to predict the price of these houses, right? So you have the whole code as well. Now the good part about Kaggle is it's not only data sets which are available. So you have also a lot of users who keep submitting their codes, and if you're a beginner, you can just go through their codes and understand what are they doing, right? So it's very easy and it's also very helpful. So you have this huge community over here and you can interact with a lot of people, you can collaborate with a lot of people, and you can upskill in data science every single day. Then we've got these communities. So again, let's say if you do want to learn something, here as you see, let's say if you do want to upskill in probably NLP, you've got this NLP community and you have all of these discussions on NLP. Similarly, let's say if we've got XGBoost, again, let me open this and you'll have certain discussions on XGBoost as well. So this is a brief on the communities page, and then we've got courses. So if you'd want to, let's say, pick up something, whether it's Python, ML, data visualization, pandas, or whatever it is, you can just go over here and pick up whatever you are, you're interested in. So this is the basic overview of what is happening. Now let me just go to the chat and see if you guys are following and what are you guys saying. Vidya MC is asking, what is Kaggle actually? Kaggle, as I've told you guys, is just a one-stop solution for everything in data science. You want certain code files with respect to something, you will find that. You would want certain data sets with respect to a particular domain, you will find that. You want to participate in certain competitions, you'll find that. You just need a coding environment to implement certain things, you'll also find that. And you can also collaborate with users all around the world. So I'm not just saying India, you have users all around the world, and you can collaborate with every single person, or you can just form a simple team or a small team and then carry out a project. So this is why Kaggle is so famous among all of the data science enthusiasts. So Vidya is again asking, what do we need to do in this competitions? Well, every competition has an objective. Now I've just showed you certain competitions over here. Again, let me open this competition which has this prize value of $90,000, and here you have the description of the competition, isn't it? Go through the description and you have this join competition option. Just click on this, and as you see, you will be entering this competition. Now also, all of these competitions are absolutely free. You do not have to pay anything to enter the competition, right? So these competitions are free. You just have to enter the competition and you'd have to submit your results or your predictions over here. And let's say if you are among the top 5 or top 3, whatever this competition states, you stand a chance to win $90,000. Right, so as you see, there are 13 teams, around 13 teams over here, and all of these competitions which are paid heavily, all of these are for experts or who have medium level of expertise, at least in ML and data science. And all of these competitions are participated by ML experts who have been working in the machine learning field since 3 to 4 years. So this is what you'd have to understand over here, because it's, let's say if you're just starting to learn data science and ML, and you just see this huge prize money and you think, oh, let me just participate in this and I stand to win this. Well, that is not that easy, because you obviously do not have that expertise and you are participating against folks who have a lot more expertise and a lot more skill sets than you possess. So this is for all of those folks. And also, one good thing about Kaggle is, let's say if you are a top Kaggle performer, if you consistently win all of these competitions, then a lot of companies also hire directly from Kaggle. So all of these top companies, so you've got Google, you've got Facebook, you've got Amazon, so all of these FANG companies, right? So I believe you would have heard of the acronym FANG, so which are the top companies in the world, top tech companies in the world. So all of these companies actually also take into account someone's Kaggle performance, and if you have been someone who is persistently doing well on Kaggle, they can just pick you up from the site itself. So if some of you are college students who are in maybe second or third or even fourth year of engineering, this would be the best time to go to Kaggle and start working on these competitions. I mean, you don't have to directly participate with this, really tough competitions, but then again, you can just go through the simple ones and then keep giving your contributions, and that matters a lot. And also, you can just put in, whatever achievements you have on Kaggle on your resume, and that will also definitely stand out, because there are currently in the market, there are not a lot of students who even know what Kaggle is, and there would be even lesser proportion of students who go to Kaggle and participate over here. So this is the basic idea of Kaggle. Shivani is asking, what is the difference between Kaggle and GitHub? So in GitHub, it's again, it is a community, but what happens is you do not have any competitions over here. And also people just upload their own code and own data files, but it's not a huge repository. So it's just a place where people just upload their code and their data sets, and if someone wants to tweak it out, people can go ahead and do that. But there are no competitions happening over there, right? And it's not also that structured. If you compare GitHub with Kaggle, you'd see that it's not that structured. And over here, you have everything in a proper structured manner. You have all of the competitions in one page. You can go and check them out, and you have this huge collection of data sets. If you just go to GitHub, I'm pretty sure that you'll not be able to find all of those data sets at one particular place. Similarly, you have all of these different contributions, and it's very easy to find all these different contributions over here. If you go to GitHub, it wouldn't be that easy. So let's say if I want to find some notebooks with respect to NLP, I'll just click on NLP over here, and you see all of these other different coding contributions by the users on Kaggle. Similarly, let's say if I want something related to finance, I'll just write down finance over here. Similarly, let's say if I would want something related to, let me just write down chess over here, and I'll find, something over here, chess EDA, which are recommending chess openings, right? So this is, you can just find a lot of things over here. So that would be the difference between Kaggle and GitHub. Vidya is also asking, can we participate in Kaggle competitions individually? Yes. But normally, if it's these really tough competitions, then people participate in teams because it's not a one-person job. Now, if you compare this competition with this competition, you'd have to understand the difference in difficulty. So this is a very, very easy competition which any beginner can go ahead and participate to learn the basics of machine learning, learn the basics of EDA. But let's say if you'd have to participate in all of these ones, there you would be implementing a lot of complicated neural networks. You'd be implementing a lot of complicated ML algorithms, and that is definitely not a one-person job. So if it were a one-person job, then it would probably take you more time than what is the given deadline over here. So that is why people normally form groups or teams and participate in these competitions. York is asking, are these paid? Nope. All of these are absolutely free. So if you're talking about competitions, the competitions are free. If you're talking about the data sets, all of those data sets are free. If you're talking about the code files for different people, all of those are free as well. Vish is asking, can we code in Kaggle or we just upload Jupyter files there? You can also code in Kaggle. Let me just, yeah, right. So you have this code option and you have the new notebook option. So just click on this new notebook option and you'll be able to open this kernel. So let's say if you do not have an IDE with you right now, you can just open a new notebook like this. And let me just write down something. What I shall do is I'll just open a new notebook over here. I wouldn't need all of this. Let me just go ahead and delete all of this. Let me just write down print this as Sparta and let me hit on run. And as you see, you've been able to properly print this out, right? So I've just written a simple line and I've been able to print this out. So you don't have to actually go over here and do your coding. You can just do whatever coding is required directly from Kaggle's own Python interface, or if you want to code in R, you can also do that. That is also not really a problem. Mohammed Hamid is asking, I am pursuing data science bachelor's and I'm in first year in topics like machine learning and programming languages and news in the next year. So now what should I do? So whenever you talk about the journey of data science, I always recommend you folks do the same thing. The first pillar is always statistics, because statistics forms the base of data science and you'd have to be really good with the fundamentals of statistics. So I'd recommend you to start off with the fundamentals of statistics, such as measures of central tendency, measures of deviation. So these would be some of the basic stuff which you'll learn. Then get to some intermediary statistics where you'll be learning about hypothesis testing. Then you have something called as a p-value, chi-square testing, and all of this. Then a bit more complicated level where you'll be learning probability distributions, normal distribution, and how it's really important for your data to be normally distributed, and what does it mean if your data is not normally distributed. So these are some things which you would have to know with respect to statistics. And once you're good with the first pillar, which is statistics, then what you need to know is obviously programming. And when it comes to data science, you have two programming languages which are widely used, or more relevantly used in the field of data science. The first one being Python, and the second one being R. So these are the two languages which are widely used in the field of data science, and I recommend to learn both of these, because if you know R, it is very easy to learn Python. Similarly, if you know Python, it is very easy to learn R as well. And both of these are dynamically typed languages, and both of the syntax of both of these is very similar. So what I'm basically trying to say is, if you know one language, which is Python, then it is easy to learn the other language. So, and also in the industry, the the projects keep changing, and it would totally depend on what is the problem statement of the project. So let's say if you are that would be a scenario where, let's say, for the first 6 months you'll be working with Python, and then suddenly what you're doing is mostly with respect to EDA and statistics, then you'll switch to R. And then similarly, after the next 6 months, what you'd be doing is let's say dealing with a lot of heavy real-time analytics, and you'll not use Python or R, and you'll suddenly switch to Spark. So these are some of the languages which you'd have to know. So statistics, programming, and then the next pillar is obviously ML algorithms. So you'd have to be really good with these algorithms, such as linear regression, logistic regression. Then you've got decision tree, random forest, and all of these other algorithms. So this will set you with the base of ML, and also you need to know the underlying concepts of these ML algorithms. So if you know the underlying algorithms, then you can just use your statistics knowledge and tweak your algorithm so that it gives you the best possible result for your problem statement. So this is what I would suggest you to do. Malik Hamza says hello from Pakistan. Hello to you as well, Malik. Shoma is asking, the Python file you just created will be private or public, and does it save for later editing? Well, this is something even I'm not sure, because I normally do not code in the Kaggle environment. Let's just check some of the settings over here. So language is Python. Let me just accelerator none. I've got no preferences over here. We've got an option to download this. So most probably this would be this should be a private notebook, but then again I'm not sure, because I don't really use this so much. I normally use Jupyter Notebook for all of my coding purpose, and once I'm done with my coding, if I want to share it, then I just upload the code file onto Kaggle. That seems easier for me, but let's say if you do not want the hassle of downloading Jupyter Notebook or downloading any other Python IDE, you can just head straight towards Kaggle and perform all of your coding operations. And as I've told you, let's say if instead of Python you'd want to use R, just select this, and here let me just create a tuple or a vector. So let me call this as vec1, and inside this let me pass in certain values, and let me hit on run. We seem to have an error over here, or let me just create a list. I guess that should be better. L1 is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Let me see if this works properly. Unexpected this. Well, I'm not really sure what the problem is, because I haven't really used this that much. So if you know what the problem is, let me know in the chat, and also you can go ahead and check more of the settings over here itself. Amr is asking, is it helpful to join BSc online degree of IIT Madras to learn data science and ML? Now, I haven't really heard of this course by IIT Madras, so I do not have the context about this. But if you'd want to learn the basics of data science, you have a lot of free resources available. And one of those free resources is obviously Great Learning Academy. So what I'd suggest is start off with the free resources, and you will have a proper idea. Then you can figure out what is it that you'd want to do for yourself, right? So you can just go over here and just look at all of the basic DS and ML stuff, and learn all of the basics of machine learning from there itself. Malik is asking, I also work on Python libraries like Pandas, Matplotlib, NumPy, sklearn. Would you please recommend some project in data science or machine learning? You can start off with some basic projects, probably take up something related to EDA or something related to binary classification. And you have a lot of popular data sets as well. Let me just go to Kaggle homepage. Let me go to home page, and you have some really popular data sets. Let me go to the data page over here. So one thing which you can do is definitely the Netflix recommendation, right? So you have the Netflix data set over here. Why am I not able to drag this? Let me just refresh this page properly. Right. So you can just go to this Netflix dataset and see what the other folks are doing. So, and as you see, this is also CC0 public domain, which means that you can directly go ahead and use this dataset for whatever purpose it is. And you have all of these different columns over here. So you have the type, whether it's a movie, whether it's a TV show, then you have the title, then you have the director, and a lot of different information over here. And you can just go to the code option over here and understand what are the other folks doing, and depending on that you can figure out for yourself what is it that you'd want to do as well. So that'd be some folks who would have submitted something with related to EDA with respect to this data set. There'll be some folks who would have done would have implemented user-based collaborative filtering or item-based collaborative filtering. There'd be some folks who would have applied linear regression over here to predict the rating of a particular movie. Similarly, let's say there would be some folks who would have using a classification algorithm to predict if the user should watch the movie or not. So these are certain things which you can do over here. And these are some of the code submissions. And as you see, someone has submitted this Netflix data exploration, and you can just go through the code over here. So this is what this person has done. So this is taking a bit of time, and as you see, this person over here is loading the file. Then he looks at the basic structure of the data set. He looks how many of these of the total whether it's a movie show or it's a movie or a TV show. And here it can be clearly seen that in this data set there is a greater list of movies when compared to TV shows. Similarly, you have a list of probably the number of movies by each of the directors over here in this data set. And all of this EDA is being done by this person. And similarly over here, you have a histogram of number of movies being released each year. So as you see, from 1940 to 2020, the number of years, the number of movies being released have been increasing. And here you can see a histogram of the average duration of the movie. So here it would seem that most of the movies, around 250 of them, their duration would be around 100 odd minutes. So this is your peak, which let's just say this is 82 to 83, and this is 120 to 101. So your average duration or your density probably lies between 80 to 120 minutes. And there are very few movies which are around 150 minutes or greater than 150 minutes. Similarly, there are very few movies or TV series whose duration is less than 50 minutes over here. And similarly, again, you can do a lot of other EDA stuff as well. You can just go through the different data sets, different code files, and you'll have a basic gist of what is it that you can do for your project. Vidya is asking, as I'm working on movie recommendation system, how would I benefit from Kaggle except dataset? So as you see over here, you can just go through the multiple submissions of other people, right? So you have 477 submissions, isn't it? And if you're working on Netflix recommendation, you can just go through this and see what the other folks are doing. So there is this one person who is performing visualization. There is one person who is doing recommendation. There would be there's one person who is doing EDA with Plotly. There is one person who is doing some basic analysis. So go through this and understand what these folks are doing and figure out for yourself what is it that you'd want to do. Right. So this is a major benefit of Kaggle. Right, so I've looked at some of your questions, and folks, again, I see that there's a watching of 45 and we've got only 29 likes. So if all of you could quickly hit the like button, that would be amazing. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do that as well. So whenever we are uploading new courses or whenever we take new live sessions, you'll get a notification if you subscribe to our channel and also hit the bell icon. So now what I'll do is I'll just go back to the compete page over here, and I shall start off with competition. And also, as you see, let me show this to you. You can also host a competition, which would mean that you can start a competition by yourself. So let's say if you are a CEO of a company, and if you're looking to recruit some data scientists into your company and you have a problem statement for your company, what you can do is you can just put out that problem statement over here, and whoever solves that problem statement properly, you can just hire that person directly into your company, right? So this is not just for people who want to get jobs, it is also for people who want to recruit directly from Kaggle. And this is what makes Kaggle such an amazing platform, right? So let's say, so as you see over here for recruiting, if you're a CEO or if you're from the data science team, if you're the data science lead, you can, just go over here, put in the problem statement which your company is facing, and then see what the submissions are. And depending on that, you can probably hire the top 2 or top 3 people for these submissions. Let me just close all of these tabs from over here. So seems like I've deleted everything. Let me just open Kaggle again. Let me open up competition page, and so this is what we have right now, Titanic. Let's just do a basic, let's understand what this Kaggle, what this Titanic competition is about. So here it states that this is the legendary Titanic ML competition, the best first challenge for you to dive into ML competitions and familiarize yourself with how Kaggle platform works. So what you'd have to do is, let me just show you the data set over here. So in this data set, you have 3 files. One is test.cv, one is train.cv, and one is this gender submission.cv. So here our focus is on this particular column, which is the survived column. And in this particular competition, what we'd have to do is we'd have to understand if this particular passenger survives or not. So let's say if the passenger ID is 892, we have a result that this passenger has not survived. So 0 would mean that the passenger has not survived. 1 would mean that the passenger has survived. And here 893, passenger has survived. 894, no. 895, no. 896, yes. So here what we are supposed to do is we have the training set and we have the testing set. In the training set, you will see that you have the survived column here, but in the test set, you will see that you do not have the survived column. So on the basis of this training set, we'll do certain predictions, we'll get certain values, and we will add that survived column to the test set, and that is what we'd have to submit over here. So I'd have probably participated in this long time ago. So I'm just clicking on my submissions over here. And as you see, these are some of the submissions which I had done long time ago. And you also can see a score for your submission, right? So as you see, so these were some of the submissions which I had done 4 years ago. Now, let me go back to data code. You can, for this competition again, you can see what have the other folks submitted. And you can also look at the discussion of what the people are talking. So let's say if some people are confused with respect to some part of the problem statement, you can just go through this and see what these folks are doing. You can also look at the leaderboard over here and look at the accuracy of these folks. To see that all of these folks over here, they've got a score of 1, which means that their prediction is 100%. Whatever the model which they had built, their prediction was absolutely 100%. Then we've got the rules of this competition. So you see over here, so you have only one account per participant. You cannot sign up to Kaggle from multiple accounts, and therefore you cannot submit from multiple accounts. Then you have no private sharing outside teams. Privately sharing code or data outside of team is not permitted. It's okay to share code if made available to all participants on the forums. Then you have again some more rules: team mergers, team limits, submission limits, and as you see, you have the submission limit over here. You may submit a maximum of 10 entries per day. Then you have the competition deadline over here. So this was the start date. So this was 28th September 2012. This is when this competition had started. You don't have an end date for this. You don't have any end date for anything. And then if you'd have to submit, you can just click on submit predictions over here. So let me just see what had I submitted. So let me just open up this my first d3.csv. Let me open this Excel file and see what had I submitted 4 years back. Right, so seems like 4 years back, this is what I had submitted, and this is for the test set. So I would have probably done certain prediction on the test set. So here I have all of the passenger IDs. Here I have all of the, whether this person has survived or not. And this classification which I had done had an accuracy of 79%. Right. Similarly, if you have die3.csv, let me open this up again. Right, so again, this is the passenger ID, and I have over here whether this passenger has survived or not. So similar things, what you just have to find out. First, you'd have to download the train set, the test set. You'd have to build the model on the train set. You'd have to do your predictions on the test set, and then you'd have to submit over here. As simple as that, and you can get started with all of the Kaggle competitions. So there's nothing much over here. Malik is asking, can you also please recommend me the best community where I can discuss things with other fellows? So Malik, as I've told you, you've got this communities tab over here, and you've got all of these discussions happening. So whatever you're learning, you can just go over here and you can discuss all throughout. And also, Great Learning also offers something similar. So if you have any doubts, you can actually reach out to us. So here you would see that we have this mail ID, so which is academy@greatlearning.in. So if you have any problems with respect to whatever you have learned over here, you can reach out to us, and someone from our team would help you out. Now this is just two sites, and also let's say if you need more communities, you can just go to Stack Overflow anytime and post some of your questions over there. That would also help. Always Akbar is asking, recommend some ebooks to learn data science. Now, when you talk about ebooks, again, I don't think I'd be the best person to answer that because I personally prefer watching. I'm more of I learn more through video tutorials rather than text-based learning because I find it easier through videos. Now, again, you can just do a simple Google search and then find out some of the books on data science. What I remember is that be one ML applications with Python, which is by O'Reilly. So that is something which you can go ahead and check out. I'm pretty sure that shall help you out. So, we've done some basic exploration of this website. What we shall do is we've also understood how to submit your data set. Let's actually do some coding. So what I'll do is I'll probably get a data set from Kaggle and perform some coding. So I'm thinking I'll do some analysis on IPL. So I've just written IPL over here and let's see what do we have. So we've got 2008 to 2019 Indian Premier League. Let me just open this up and see what do I get. So here you see that I have these files. I have this matches.csv file. I'll just go ahead and download this matches.csv file. Let me open up Jupyter Notebook. Let me see if I have already uploaded this. Doesn't seem like I've already uploaded this. So I'll click on upload. Let me just select this. Let me click over here. I have uploaded this. Let me open matches.csv. So this is the file which we have, and what I shall do right now is I'll just open a new tab. Let me just load this file. So for that I would need to have certain libraries. I'll just write down import pandas as pd, then I'll have import I also need matplotlib, so let me just write down from matplotlib import pyplot as pld. So these are the libraries which I am importing right now. Again, this shall probably take a bit of time. Rahul is asking, is there any statistics for ML video from you? So I've done some basic stats once, which would cover around half an hour to 45 minutes of stats. But then again, if you want a comprehensive stats video, you can probably check out some courses by Dr. Sarkar. Let me just scroll down again and let me open up GL Classroom courses. And here you have the stats for data science, which is by Dr. Abhinanda Sarkar. So Dr. Abhinanda Sarkar has his PhD from Stanford and he also has taught in MIT. And he's a wonderful lecturer. So if you want to learn statistics, I'd recommend you folks to go through this particular course. And you can also check out our other videos on YouTube itself for more videos on stats. So here, let's just go back here. What I've done is I've imported the required libraries. Let me also load the file. So for that case, I'll write down read.csv. And the name of the file is matches.csv, and I'll go ahead and store this object in, so the result in a new object, and I'll call it as IPL. So this has to be pd.read_csv. Let me change that over here. Now let me have a glance at some of the rows which are present. So I'll just use matches.head. Sorry, I've given this the name of IPL, so I'll just write down IPL.head over here. And these are all of the different columns which are present. So we've got the season, which would tell in which season, which year this match happened. Then we've got the city. So this match which you see, which is between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore, happened in Hyderabad, and this happened on, so this is 5th of April 2017. Then between these two teams, Royal Challengers Bangalore won the toss and they decided to field. Then you have certain different categories over here: result, normal, tie, and then you'll have something else. We'll just go through that in a bit of time. Then you have DL applied. So DL applied is basically it's 0 or 1. So if 0, then it would mean that Duckworth-Lewis was not applied. If it is 1, then it would mean that Duckworth-Lewis was applied. Then you have the winner of the match. So between these two, it seems that Sunrisers Hyderabad won the match. Then you have win by runs. Now you have win by runs if if the team batting first wins it. So here, as you see, this match is between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore, and Royal Challengers Bangalore decided to field. So if Royal Challengers decided to field, which would mean that Sunrisers Hyderabad had batted first, and they put up a score, and whatever score they put up seems like Royal Challengers Bangalore were short by 35 runs, and that is why Sunrisers Hyderabad won by 35 runs over here. And Yuvraj Singh, so the legendary Yuvraj Singh is or was the player of the match. And there's a stadium called as Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, which is in Uppal. And this is where the match happened. And you've got the names of the first umpire, the second umpire, and seems like there was no third umpire in this match, or the name of the third umpire is not given over here. So this is some basic information about this. Now let's say if I want to know the shape of this data set, I can just write down IPL.shape and I shall hit on run. And you see 756 and 18, which would mean that there are 756 records and 18 columns. So here 756 would mean that there have been 756 matches which have been listed over here. Okay. So let me again go back and see if there are any more questions. Mohit Singh says he's late. Well, that's not a problem because all our live sessions are stored as it is on YouTube. So whenever you have time, you can come back to our channel and go through this live session again. Avdesh Kumar says, I've watched your Python video, Python data science video on YouTube. So thank you very much, Avdesh. And if you like the video, do also share the video with your friends and your peers. That would help us a lot. Amit is asking, how can I start with Kaggle for ML? So again, whatever ML requirements or whatever data science requirements you have, just go to the communities tab over here. Right, and just go through all of these different discussions or go through the courses page over here, and you see everything is properly structured. You have intro to ML, intermediate ML, data visualization, Panda, SQL, data cleaning, machine learning explainability, right? So you can just go through any of these courses and start learning immediately. And that is why I always say Kaggle is the one-stop solution for all of your data science needs. Right. So now we'll just go back and do a bit more EDA over here. So we have looked at this. Now I'd also want to know how many matches were played in each season. So what I shall do is, since that is a categorical column, I'll have IPL. The name of the column is what, season. So I'll just write down season over here, and after this I need to use the value counts method. So just let me just write down value counts and I'll hit on run, and you would see that in 2013 76 matches were played, 2012 74. Now, if you come down over here, you see that in 2009, 57 matches were played. In 2008, 58 matches were played, and so on. So this is something interesting which we've find out. Now, after this, let's say I'd want to find out the maximum number of player of the match awards which someone had won. So I've got this player of match over here. Again, what I'll do is I'll write down IPL, and inside this I'll write down player of match. So let me just put in player of match, and after that I shall use value counts and I'll hit on run, and let's see the result. So this is the data from 2008 to 2019. So is it 2019? Yes, so this is 2008 to 2019. And it would seem that till 2019, the maximum number of man of the match awards, you've got Chris Gayle at the top with 21 Man of the Match awards. Then you've got AB de Villiers close behind with 20 Man of the Match awards. Then you've got Dhoni, Warner and Rohit Sharma at 17 each. So these are the 5 players, or the top 5 players with maximum Man of the Match awards. So this is something interesting. Now let's do some visualization. So what I want to do is I'd want to understand this particular visualization. So let's say if a team is batting first and if they win the match, I'd want to know what is the distribution of the win by runs over here. What I'll do is I'll also import Cborn over here. So let me just write down import Cborn as SNS and let me hit on run. Again, this might take a few seconds for this library to load. Right, so that is done. And here I shall write down, so let me actually put sns.distplot, and inside this, the name of the file is IPL, name of the dataset is IPL, and name of the column, what is the name of the column over here? Name of the column is win by runs. Let me copy paste this into this particular single quotes and let me hit on run. What I shall also do is here I'll put down plt.show. Alright, so this is the distribution of win by runs, and you see that there's this huge peak over here, which basically means that the win by runs is mostly in this particular margin, which is around 0 to, let's just say, 5 or 6, and there are very few matches where the team has won by more than 50 runs, right? So these are where you have small peaks between, let's just call this 5 to 50, right? You have these small peaks. So after 50, it just completely drops down. So the win by runs margin is it's probably around 0 to 5 runs in IPL, and this would tell you that these matches have been very close, whichever have happened in IPL. Sakshi is asking artificial intelligence की class कब लेंगे और machine learning भी. Well, Sakshi, we have a lot of things coming up on ML and AI, so we will definitely take them up probably in the next month. So we still have to decide on the April calendar. So I'm pretty sure I'll be doing something with respect to AI and ML in the month of April. So there's a question if I could do a live session on PyTorch framework. Yes, that's actually a great suggestion. So this is something we shall note down, and we shall definitely do a live session on PyTorch or maybe some other deep learning framework. Right. So folks, I guess I'll probably sign off for today. I've given you a proper context of what Kaggle is. How can you start off with your first competition, and how can you also submit your results over here? So this would be it from my side, and let's meet up in the next class. Thank you guys.